Hi everybody, welcome back once again to the Eastfield Gunroom YouTube channel. And before we kick off with today's review, which is an absolute belter, I just want to thank you all once again for liking the video, subscribing to the channel. And if you haven't already done that, please hit like, please hit subscribe, because it does help us all. Right, on to today. Now, everybody that watches this channel will know I'm a huge Miroku fan. If you like Mirokus, hit the playlist, there's loads to look at. We've also looked at a number of EWA special limited edition shotguns on this channel from both Browning and Miroku. But today we bring you what I believe is the very first review of the brand new limited edition Miroku MK38 Competition. Drum roll, please. And here it is. So, for those that don't already know, EWA is a show for the shooting industry, which is in Germany, over in Nuremberg, each year. And what happens, all the top, not just only shotgun manufacturers, rifle, pistols, all kinds of stuff, all go there to show people in the industry what they're planning to bring out in the next 12 months. What happens typically with Browning as a company is they will produce a number of limited edition one-offs. They will take them to the show, and depending on the popularity of that gun with the dealers, the public, whatever, will depend whether it goes into production. Now, what we've got here today is one of those guns. This was first mentioned about 14 or 15 months ago now. It's been a long time coming. I've managed to get one of what I believe is the very first guns in the UK, and we're going to look at it today. So we'll just take it out of the box in its various parts. You've got some genuine Belgian, or is it Japanese, carrier bags. Right, so Miroku MK38 Competition. Now, I believe these are available in very small numbers, and I believe they are currently only for the UK market. I'm going to stick my nose out and say 150, 200 guns. Unlikely to be any more than that, because usually when these EWA guns are put into production, they are very, very limited numbers, sometimes as few as 100. Anyway, so we'll start off with the action. Now, we've looked at the Miroku MK38 Grade 1 on the channel. We've looked at the Miroku MK38 Grade 5 on the channel. What we haven't yet looked at is the Grade 3. Now, to give you a little bit of background, the MK38 Grade 3, as it sounds, is smack bang in the middle of the two grades, the 1 and the 5. First launched back in the UK about 1995, initially as a trap gun. Then it became the Teague Sporter in about 2003, 2004. So, like I said, it was kind of marketed at people that wanted something a little bit prettier than a Grade 1, but couldn't quite stretch to a Grade 5. And that is the action style. As I've said before on the channel, Browning are masters of going to the very back of the filing cabinet, dragging old engraving patterns out, but what they've done this time is they have actually spiced it up a bit. So what we've got is we've got a lot more engraving than you would get on a basic Grade 1. So we've got full kind of coverage with this nice scroll around the borders. We've got what looks like the Vitalite Sun, if you're old enough to remember that, like I am. And in the middle, we've got this sort of floral bouquet with some leaves and some roses. And what they've done on this new competition model is they've actually picked it out in silver. Now, if you go back historically 30 odd years, Browning used to put gold in their guns. So you've got the 325s with the Grade 6, which have got the pheasants, and also in some cases the retriever picked out in gold. More recently, they've changed to silver, and you've got models like the 525 Crown, the XS Pro Crown, and there's also some more EWA guns that are just currently hitting the shops, which again have got some of the detail, the main detail of the engraving picked out in this lovely silver. I like it. I think it's understated, it's subtle, but it also at the same time, it sort of has a good presence about it. So that's on the one side. We turn it over, and it's a mirror image. So we've got the same again. There's almost like a vignette with this nice finer scroll work, some bigger scroll work on the corners. Got the Vitalite Sun in the corner, and also we've got the detail picked out in silver. We have got carved fences on the top. We've got an engraved top lever, engraved safety catch. We've got some engraving on the back of the back strap. And if we turn it over, so we've got engraved trigger guard, we've got full coverage once again, we've got some more detail that's picked out in silver. It's a different kind of flower here, looks something like a sunflower with some more leaves, obviously continuing the Vitalite theme of the margarine. And also we've got in the bottom here, whereas you would normally just get MK38 Sport, we've got BC Miroku MK38 Competition Limited Edition. I think that's a nice touch, because all too often when Browning have had these EWA specials, they've done limited edition guns. I can remember one from back in the early 2000s, about 2007 or 8. They did an Ultra XS Titanium, which has got fantastic wood, a special case, but they never actually told anybody what they were buying. And so if you don't tell people it's a limited edition, you don't put it on the gun, Who's ever going to know? Trigger wise, a little bit different to normal. You tend to get the checkered style on the MK38 Sporter. What Browning Miroku have done with this one is they put the slightly slimmer one, the polished one, which I think complements the colour of the trigger guard and the rest of the action really nicely. Like I said, with it being this grade 3 engraving, it's not over the top, but it's still, you know, it's a pretty looking gun. You could take it game shooting, you could take it glaze shooting, and it's very much an all-rounder. On to the barrels. Notice the difference, ventilated. Now we've looked at some Australian spec Mirokus already on the channel, the MK10s, the 9000s, check those videos out, a lot of good content there. But this is the first UK spec Miroku forever, apart from those which again weren't designed for the UK market, to have ventilated barrels. Not a ventilated top rib, but ventilated barrels. Historically, all Mirokus that have come over to the UK have been solid ribs. So big news there. Ventilated barrels, ventilated top rib, 10mm with the tram line, with the centre bead, all standard Miroku gear that we're all used to, is familiar to us, is popular, we like it. Engraved barrel wings, Invector Plus 18.7 bore, HP steel proof. We've got the fleur-de-lis, we've got the CIP and the fleur-de-lis. The bore size is stamped on there. And what comes with this gun, if you own an MK38 Sporter, they typically come with 2 flush chokes, full and skeet, which is pointless. And then you get a quarter, half and 3/4. Or for our American friends that are watching, improved cylinder, modified and improved modified choke. Whereas this one, they've thought a little bit more about what people actually want, and you get a set of 5 extended Invector Plus Teagues, which I think run from cylinder all the way to full. We will confirm that when we look inside this snazzy case shortly. Weight wise, this gun is 8 pounds 10 ounces. Now it's 32-inch barrel. These are also available in 30-inch. In terms of the split of numbers, I don't know. It's probably 125 of each or something like that in terms of the production of these. Miroku is huge in this country. I would imagine this gun is going to be massively oversubscribed. So if you do get the opportunity to get your hands on one of these, go for it. Also, the lumps on the bottom of the barrels where they lock into the action, we've got that deep body, awesome, brilliant locking mechanism. The lumps are actually engraved as well, which you wouldn't get on a grade 1, but obviously you would get it on a grade 5. Now I keep referring back to this as a grade 3 only because it's got the original grade 3 engraving. Like I said, been out for a number of years. It did get stopped for a few years, about 2011, 2012. They bought it back as a limited edition, and now they have very cleverly decided to use it on this superb competition model. So the weight, as we've just said, is 8 pounds 10 ounces. This is a 32-inch barrel, like I said, available in 30. There won't be any 28-inch versions because, certainly to my knowledge, they've never manufactured an MK38 Sporter with 28-inch barrels. And again, to my knowledge, there hasn't been an MK38 skeet gun, only an MK10, etc. So balance-wise, let's have a look. Pretty much, for a gun that's not factory balanced, smack on the hinge pin. Now, I'm assuming, because historically Browning and Miroku Sports is always a little bit barrel heavy, is that by taking the actual weight out the midrib, that has improved the balance of the shotgun no end. So that just makes it a faster moving gun because it's balanced from the off. Yes, I get a lot of comments about people saying when you put cartridge, it changes completely, and that is true. But from a manufacturing point of view, I would imagine that most manufacturers strive to get balanced weight between the hands from the outset. Now, I spoke about balance. Now, with this MK38 Competition, it's got another feather in its cap. Now, if you've watched the Browning Ultra XS Pro video, do check it out. That is Browning's current competition gun, which comes with all the bells and whistles, barrel weight, stock weights, the lot. Guess what Miroku have done? They've put it in this bad boy. So not only have you already got a gun that handles very nicely out the box, you've now got the addition of the Pro System stock weights and the Pro System barrel weights. For those that don't know about the barrel weight system, they will go anywhere along the center of the rib. And of course, it makes perfect sense. They had to use ventilated barrels because otherwise it wouldn't accept the weight facility. Otherwise, you had to stick them on with gaffer tape. So now we move on to the wood. So what we've got here is, as you would expect, this is mid-range woodwork. It's not the very, very high-end stuff you get on an MK38 grade 5. It's not the Formica you get on a MK38 grade 1. However, this is a particularly pleasant one. I wouldn't say I chose that. It actually just came like that, so we were lucky in that respect. So what you've got here is grade 4/5 American walnut. This is quite a striking piece of wood because you've got very, very deeply figured, quite a dark stuff at the back, and it's coming lighter towards the front. What you will notice, very, very strong through the head. This is a competition gun. It's designed to go out and be shot time and time and time again. We don't want any of the fragility that some of the very, very high grade stuff will come with. Standard sort of oil finish, as you can see with American walnut, you get this very nice red coloration that's coming through. You can really see the grain. It's a very, very pretty piece of wood when you consider that the gun doesn't cost a fortune. Factory adjustable comb, same system as the XS Pro, same system as the 525. It works, why change it? You get a good amount of adjustment. Like I said, it's a sporting gun or it's a competition gun. You could absolutely use this for trap shooting. The comb will go high enough. You've got the extra weight. And if it is too whippy in the front, just put the barrel weights on, simple as that. Standard factory fit recoil pad, obviously with the hole in the back. Don't assume this is going to give you any kind of recoil reduction. It is basically the back end of a cross-ply tyre. If you want further recoil reduction, as I've said in many videos before, get yourself a Kickies pad, put it on, and in essence, you will have a very, very smooth shooting shotgun. Double point checker in, really sharp on this one, to be fair. Almost cut my fingers taking it out of the box. Nicely, nicely done. Got the extra point in the middle, and we've also accompanied this with a beaver tail forend. Now, if you go back 30 years, all sporting guns came with Schnabel forends. It was the norm. But as things have evolved, people decide they don't like the lip. We've seen many guns that have had the lips actually shaved off. We've got new rounded style forends on a lot of guns like DT11s and things now. And I think the beaver tail forend has just become so popular, not just with trap shooters, but of course with sporting shooters now. It was an obvious choice to put it on this gun. Nicely figured American walnut again, with the coloration of the red running through. Double point checker in. We've got engraved forend iron. If we go back to the MK10 video, the MK10 trap gun we did, which again is an Australian spec model, it had a palm swell. Miroku MK38 Sporters here in the UK, they've never had a palm swell. For some reason, we see it on the Australian spec models. We don't see it on these. Having said that, it's not ridiculously skinny in the grip. And also, let's not forget, this is an MK38 platform. You can do anything with this. If it is that you want the new ventilated barrel, the barrel weight and stuff, but you're a trap shooter or you want a bigger pistol grip, then just get an MK38 trap stock with the palm swell, which is a Browning XT stock, and it will go straight on the back. So moving on to the box. Looks like a badly packed Breville because I've trapped all the packaging inside it. We'll open it up. So to give you an idea how unusual this is, if you go back, well, even now, if you buy a new grade 5 MK38 here in the UK, it will come in a cardboard box. I believe a lot of the Australian models still come in cardboard boxes. I think people recognise that for years there's been a big following for Miroku, and people have got a bit disgruntled about the fact that Brownies come in plastic cases, Mirokus come in cardboard boxes. So in terms of stepping it up and in terms of trying to keep that passion for Miroku alive, what they've started doing is putting in these cool plastic Negrini boxes. Okay, so black on the top, Miroku, Japanese technology. It's got this kind of snake skin effect. I say snake skin, it feels like the dashboard on a car, to be fair. It's just got a bit of a rough texture to it. Inside, we've got this, this foamy stuff. Again, looks like someone's almost painted that on with a stencil. You can feel it's like a nail file when you rub your fingers on it. So we've got the Negrini case. For those that don't know, Negrini manufactured cases for probably 80% of the world's shotgun manufacturers, certainly for Beretta, certainly for Caesar Guerini, for Fabarm, for Browning. You get the picture. They are the boys. Into here, we've seen this before. Nice silver cardboard. It actually feels like the gold bull in here. There's so much stuff weighing it down. So we open it up, lift the flap, and inside we've got, so the first thing I'm going to point out is this is the stock weighting system, which we've seen before with the 725 Pro Sport. That's a gun we haven't looked at yet, but do stay tuned, it is coming. Or the Ultra XS Pro, and it's exactly the same. Oh, it's actually got a Miroku badge on each of the weights, whereas with the Browning one, you get the Browning badge. So a nice little touch there, because if you are a die-hard Miroku fan, the last thing you want is a load of bloody Browning weights. So the barrel weight in this really, really cool, tiny little tube. Reminds me, I used to do a lot of match fishing when I was a kid. You used to get tiny little split shot and stuff like this. So open it up in this telescopic tube. We've got the screws that go through the barrel weights. Again, we've got the Miroku branding on the actual barrel weight itself. So again, attention to detail is very good. They've thought of absolutely everything here. So there will go up the whole length of the shotgun rib, the center rib, depending on where you want the gun to balance. Now these are, you only get 2 in a pack, the 37 grams, which is 1.3 ounces. So if you add that together, because it's dead easy, 2.6 ounces, On the front of that, you're up to like £8, 13 ounces. Now, just to give you an example, if you shoot something like a Krieghoff K80 Super Sport, which is £9 plus, or a big heavy Parazzi or a big heavy Green, and you want something that is a backup gun, just from the point of view is there might not be an occasion where you want to take your expensive gun out. This will absolutely fit the bill. You can get it the right weight. It's versatile in terms of got the adjustable comb, adjustable trigger, multi-choke, steel shot proof. It's a consideration for anybody that hasn't ever owned a Miroku. So they are the barrel weights. So we've got barrel weight and stock weights. Obviously the various screws for the barrel weights. Should you want to buy additional barrel weights and make the thing even heavier, you can do, because looks, you've got 5 or 6 places up there and it looked like a piece of scaffold by the end of it. So we've got the Teague key for the Teague chokes, which is a taper key. That's how it works. Remember that the gun is Invector Plus choke. You haven't got to use the chokes that come with it. You can put bridles in it, rhinos, whatever you want to do, because these are replacement chokes by the fantastic people here at Teague, who are a UK shotgun choke manufacturer. So in terms of the actual chokes themselves, we have got a full complement. Like I said, the majority of MK38 Sporters only come with 3 extended Teagues. You have got a full set of 5 running from full all the way down to cylinder. Again, we'll show you those in the close-ups. Auto safety bar. God knows how many Miroku and Browning bought of these, but it was once upon a time and it must have been a skip load. Every time you get hold of a Browning or Miroku, there will be the auto safety bar inside in case you want to use it for game shooting. You want an auto safe. My recommendation would be take it to a registered gunsmith to get that work carried out. And then finally, Allen keys galore, 1 for the trigger and 1 for the stock. Talked about it before. The adjustable stock is the Browning version, so it goes straight through the back. Give it a twist, move the comb and then tighten up. It is that simple. We've got the obligatory book of words, which is interesting because it refers to MK10, 38, 60 and 70, because essentially the internals are all the same on those different shotguns. Warranty paperwork, which here in the UK, if you buy one of these shotguns, you will get a very, very good backup. You'll get 3 years warranty across the board, including the woodwork and the mechanics of the gun. Let's not forget American walnut can be a little bit susceptible to cracking, so to have something offered as good as that is very, very good. And finally, you might not have seen one of these before. I can't remember, but probably pointed out in previous videos. What we've got here, we've got a genuine Miroku inspection certificate all the way from Japan, just confirming that the gun has been proof tested, that it's this particular barrel length, this serial number, it says MK38 Competition there, and it's signed by the chief inspector at the Miroku Firearms Manufacturing Company, Kochi, Japan. You don't get one of these when you buy a Browning because you get a separate proof certificate from the proof house in Belgium. And that's it. That has been the fantastic, extremely limited edition Miroku MK38 Competition from me. It's a brand new model. It's barely out there. We've managed to get one. We pulled out all the stops. We wanted to show it to you first. I believe this is the first UK review, maybe the first worldwide one. I'm not sure. I really like it. I'm a huge Miroku fan regardless. This gun ticks an awful lot of boxes. It has got everything you possibly want in terms of a balancing system. The stock is adjustable. It's the right weight. The balance has been taken into consideration out the box. It looks the part. It's going to make a lot of people happy, this gun is, if you can get your hands on one. If you've got any questions about this particular gun, please contact me directly. Details are on the screen. Don't forget to check out the website if you haven't already done so. If you haven't already liked and subscribed to this video and to the channel, then please do that, because we do appreciate your support. And from me and the very first MK38 competition here in the UK, I'll see you next time.